that anyone is the best who ever did anything, but this guy certainly would rank among the best kickers of all time.
There's a lot of power in that black shoe. Isn't it something how the kickers are the only guys that can wear a different colored shoe?
That's as it should be.
And that's as it should be. And then the guy that's going to do it is the kicker, and he's going to wear one of each color.
And he's left-footed. Got a lot going for him. Line drive. Drives the 49ers back into the end zone. Dexter Carter fields it there. Steve Young starts at quarterback, of course. Still with a bad left thumb, but still starting. Up in front of him, Steve Wallace and Harris Barton, the tackles. McIntyre and Ralph Tam, the guards, and Jesse Sapolo at center. The guns, Ricky Waters, Logan, the two backs, Rice and Taylor wide, and Brent Jones, the tight end. 1st and 10, 49ers at their own 20. Steve Young. He says that thumb still bothers him. Not enough to keep him out, but still a bother.
Well, it's swollen, and that's what bothers him. If you look at the left thumb is about twice the size as a right thumb. And you know, there's a difference. You get to a position where you're okay to play, but that doesn't mean that you're still 100%.
The reason for the holdup is they're having a clock problem on the field. Those of you who watched the Bears destroy Tampa Bay, we're just underway in New Orleans. No score. This is the 49ers' first possession, the first time they've had the ball. The Saints haven't had it yet. 1st and 10 at their own 20. We'd like to welcome those of you who watch the Bears pound the Buccaneers. Young on 1st down outside the water. On the other side of the ball, the defensive line, Les Miller in the middle, Warren and Wayne Martin, the two defensive ends, most of the time. A fine group of linebackers, Turnbull, Johnson, Williams, and the indestructible Ricky Jackson. In the secondary, Coy Cook, Atkins, and Taylor, and Vince Buck. With Buck and Cook, the cornerback. This is Mark Logan, left side, short of a 1st down. Frank Warren made the stop. A pickup of 3.
Mark Logan's playing, of course, because Tom Rathman, has always been the fullback of the 49ers, it seems, is injured, has a shoulder injury. He's out for another few weeks. And Mark Logan has not only stepped in there and played, but he's played very well. He's come up with some big plays for the 49ers.
3rd and 2. 49ers at their own 28. 6 defensive backs in the game for New Orleans. Young back to throw it. Chased by Jackson. He gets away from Jackson and gets the 49er 1st down. Those of you who've just watched Detroit beat Phoenix 26-20, welcome to the Superdome in New Orleans. 0-0, the first possession of the day for San Francisco. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 1st down, 49ers at their own 32. These 49ers have so many weapons on offense. Flag on the play. I think Steve Wallace pulled back too soon.
And I'll tell you, did Frank Warren level Steve Young? That's the thing the 49ers were worried about, is the snap counting. Here in the snap count, boy, they better worry about
offense. Number 74, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That was Steve Wallace, the left tackle, but they better worry about blocking 73 right here. Here's Wallace. He's going to be the guy who moves. But watch Frank Warren, 73. He just goes right by Guy McIntyre. And I'll tell you, that really hurts. It's not the first hit, but it's when you hit the turf that gets those quarterbacks.
And especially with a guy like Frank Warren on top of you. Added weight. First and 15, Young to Water. Got a couple. Those of you who watched Minnesota defeat Green Bay 15-13, welcome to the Superdome in New Orleans. No score here. We're just underway. The first possession of the day for San Francisco. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Second and 12. Receivers for the 49ers on second and long, and the handoff is to Ricky Water. A swarming Saint defense.
You know, and that's the defense that the Saints want to play today, Pat. It's what they call their nickel defense. They don't have a nose tackle. They only have two defensive ends. They have a defensive end here, a defensive end here. And this is a linebacker Turnbull here, Ricky Jackson here, two linebackers here. Then they can go with the 5 defensive backs. That's the defense that they would like to play the 49ers with. But to do that, they have to stop the run in this nickel defense.
This is not a defense. This is a defense.
Right.
Young retreats. Got away from Jackson. Sidearms it to John Taylor. Fumble, and the Saints are all around the ball as they usually are. New Orleans Saints have the ball.
And these fans know and appreciate and understand their defense. That was Vaughn Johnson, the inside linebacker. Watch the play that he makes, number 53. He's back in pass defense. We see a good pass rush here. Jackson comes from the outside. He gets past Jackson. Look at him look downfield. He kind of sidearms this to John Taylor. Now watch Vaughn Johnson come in, number 53, right there, and knock that ball out with his right hand.
More and more you see that.
And the ones that do it the best always seem to be the best players, and usually from the linebacker position.
Isn't that the truth? First and 10 is New Orleans. At the 49er 34. Richard Cooper appeared to jump too early. Wade Wilson, the veteran who's been with Minnesota and last year with Atlanta, picked up by New Orleans in the offseason. And he has solidified this offense, as has this offensive line. Cooper, Porton, Hilgenberg, Kennard, and the rookie, the #1 draft choice, who looks like he's going to be a great one, William Rowe. Brown and Mustard, the 2 running backs, Eric Martin and Quinn Early, open at the wide receivers, and Hobie Brenner. Brenner is the tight end. First and 15. Fake to Brown by Wilson. Just misses. Brad Muster coming out of the backfield. Now, the defensive side of the ball for the 49ers is where they have injuries and look a little uncertain. Muster's number 22. This is the 49er defense today. Stubblefield in the middle, Washington and Brown, the defensive end. Johnson, Romanowski, Walter, and Keller. Magruder and Davis, the cornerbacks today. McDonald and Hanks, the 2 safeties. Hobie Brenner moves left side. Second and 15. Brown takes the handoff.
You know, you were talking about the defense of the 49ers having problems. Even when they were healthy were they having problems. But today they have 4 starters out that didn't even make the trip. Kevin Fagan, their defensive end, Keith DeLong, their inside linebacker, Don Griffin, their right corner, and Dana Hall, their free safety. So these guys are not only not starting the game, they aren't even here, so there's no way they're going to play today.
Third and 12. Saints at the 49er 35. Again a jump. Got a count of flag. Wilson brings it outside for Patrick Newman.
That's the thing that Jim Moore really likes about Wade Wilson is his toughness and the way that he stands in there. I mean, guys are jumping off sides, rushing him. He just stands there, boom, and pops it right out there.
Wade Wilson is a remarkable guy. You mentioned he came from Atlanta during the offseason. think he'll take the first down.
Offsides, the right defensive end. Penalty is declined. First down.
You're going to see it right up on top. That was Todd Kelly there that was offside. So now, once that happens, the whistle doesn't blow, so Wade Wilson, in essence, knows that he has a free play.
Dick Hantak is the referee, by the way. First and 10 Saints, the 49er 22. Hand off to Brown. Down to about the 16. Dennis Brown was talking to us yesterday, said when he first got here, there's Jim Mora. Done such a great job as the Saint coaching, with the Saint coaching. Brown was saying he started off fourth string, and one guy got hurt, he moved up, and he moved up, and he moved up. Now he's the starter. Yeah,
he was a fourth-round draft choice out in Nebraska. He said he looked at all the running backs in the Saints, didn't know why they drafted him, thought he'd probably be in the practice squad his first year.
And now he's the starter, and he's the lone back. And he takes the handoff. Good run. That's why he moved up.
And I'll tell you, anytime you take a running back from Nebraska, and you go back to Roger Craig when he was with the 49ers, you go back to Tom Rathman, you go to a Derek Brown, you get a full all-around back. Not only is a guy going to run, I'll guarantee he's going to be able to block, and I'll also guarantee he's going to be a tough guy.
You sort of know that, as you say.
That's right.
From Nebraska.
And he left college a year early. He had one more year's eligibility. Left early and was taken in the fourth round and didn't expect this to happen.
First and 10, just outside the 10. Brown again. Just to the line of scrimmage this time.
This is what George Seifert said that they were going to have to stop. I mean, he was worried about his defense today, and specifically the front seven. You know, the linemen and the linebackers. He said they have to step up today. And the first thing you have to do when you step up, you have to stop the run in this league.
And that's what the 49ers have been concerned about. And that's what the Saints have been able to do this year, unlike previous years. Flags fly again. Stubblefield.
He just couldn't hold back. You see Stubblefield, he got up there and he started to encroach, then started to encroach, then started to encroach. Someone said he's just a rookie. Someone told him this is a tough place to play. And he looked like he got up in the neutral zone and just kept going more neutral and more neutral. But the umpire's saying that someone's pulling him maybe. Watch him here. He starts it here. See what? Start it. Bum it. Stop. Get in the stance again. Back off. Get in the stance again. Try and get in the stance again. And then Jay Hilgenberg gets on it.
I was going to say, don't forget the guy playing across from him. They're saying he pulled him off. Jay Hilgenberg. That's what it's about.
Well, Jay Hilgenberg's been in this league for 13 years. And he's the guy, he gets against a rookie. He could try some tricks on him. Old Hilge's shaking his head and said, not me, not that time. But you know, a center can move the ball and adjust it, but then once he gets it set, he just has to snap it. And again, there's always a game within a game between a center and a nose tackle.
Both of them trying to get to the other one more quickly. Second and 15. Wilson. Incomplete in the end zone. And the direction of Quinn Early.
And that's what they had to do. Ted Washington got there that time, and that's what George Seifert was saying, that what's happening to Ted Washington and Dennis Brown and Stubblefield and all these linemen, they're staying on their blocks too long. They're not getting off blocks and getting to running backs and quarterbacks.
Brings up third down and 15 still. 4 wide receivers for the Saints. And Wilson on a spread. And the corner and overthrown. Intended for Patrick Newman again, but don't forget this weapon they have coming on the field now.
this is as automatic as you can get in this league. That last play, that was Adrian Hardy, who was a cover guy. He had good coverage, and I think Wade Wilson just threw that one away.
Anderson is 6 out of 8. Longest 47 yards this year, but his range is far greater than that. Barnhart is the holder. This is from 33 yards out. Anderson right down the pipe. And the Saints lead it 3-0. 8:17 left in the first quarter. The Saints 3, the 49ers nothing. Look at some of the photographs that have been taken of the 49er defensive setup. As Anderson trots out the kickoff. They took 9 plays. They only went 17 yards. They got the field goal from 33 yards out by Anderson.
You know, that's a good feeling for an offensive team. You know, knowing that you have a Morton Anderson and you get down inside the 30, it's almost automatic. But I'll tell you, it's a great feeling for these guys on the kickoff coverage. These 10 guys, boy, do they love it when their kickoff guy kicks the ball out of the end zone.
I know in past years, John, sometimes the so-called experts were saying that the presence of Anderson was a crutch for the Saints, that they became to depend too much on him. This one's a little shorter. It's going to be handled by Ant Lee at the 4. To about the 16, flags again.
Probably everyone was shocked because the ball didn't go into the end zone.
So, looks like it's going to be against New Orleans. He undercut that kickoff a little bit.
I don't think left footers can undercut him.
On the kicking team, number 80, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So they'll do it again. Marcus Dowdell was the man offside.
And what it is those guys have to time it. You know, they get 5 yards behind the ball or 10 yards behind the ball, and then they run up with a kicker, and they want to be right at the line where the ball's kicked from, and sometimes they get there a little before the kicker does. You know, talking about undercut, why do these guys do this? I mean, why do they go through this routine? I mean, you got a special tee there. First of all, you put the tee sideways. I mean, instead of pointing the tee that way, you point it sideways. You have 2 different color shoes. I mean, you have a black shoe on the left foot, a white shoe on the right foot. You put the ball in there crooked, and then why they go through this other stuff? And you got to get the ball exactly perfect. Now watch his left leg. He'll usually do some kind of thing where he just kind of turns it backwards and sideways. Oh, there. That one there. What's that one?
I understand it perfectly. So you don't undercut it.
He undercut it.
It did. But he got a good roll. That's a bump and run. The Saints 3, the 49ers nothing. 8:02 left first quarter.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. Bigfoot Pizza from Pizza Hut, the biggest pizza you can get delivered. Your Allstate agent for home, auto, life, and business insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
There's a guy with his own arena.
Well, Eric Martin pulled a groin last week in the pregame warm-up. It bothered him during the game. They had to tape it at halftime or wrap it up at halftime. Now they're not waiting till halftime. That's the way you wrap a groin in this league. You get a bunch of guys with towels around. Now, those don't look like good towels to do it, but they stand around, and the trainer gets in there and wraps that area.
Those 2 guys holding the towels are inactive.
Well, what kind of towels were those?
Here's Here's Young. Gets it out to Logan. Gets near a first down. Stopped by Vaughn Johnson.
One thing about the 49ers, and I think they've really influenced the league, is you don't have to wait until second and long or third down to pass the football anymore. When the 49ers come out and they will pass it on any down, they probably pass it more and more effectively on first down than anyone over the years.
Second and short. They use it almost like another running play. This is Waters. Behind the line by Ronaldo Turnbull.
Ronaldo Turnbull is a guy that is going to become a heck of a player on this defense. He's a guy that played behind Pat Swilling, couldn't get in the starting lineup. When they traded Swilling, then the job became his. And you see him right here on the left side. He takes on Brent Jones, waits for the ball to come to him, and just wraps up Ricky Waters. That was a good play. You know, when you play on a tight end like that, you want to hold him up and let the ball come to you. Don't jump off him too soon, because then the back will run off of you.
So it brings up third and longer yardage than they had on second. Young sacked by Turnbull with an assist from Jackson.
Ronaldo Turnbull, he's right here. He was a defensive end who they moved to linebackers. When they play nickel, he's now an end. He's going to come from this position here against Steve Wallace. You see him, he just takes a hard outside rush. Wallace tries to cut him. And if you miss a cut, your quarterback's going to get sacked. Wallace didn't have to cut Turnbull on that play.
Hughes back deep. Low kick from Woodsmeyer. Tyrone Hughes got one block, got another, no flags, and he moves it into 49er territory. Saints still lead.
You know, anytime you get a good punt return like the Saints did on that last play, you have to get a good block. Watch number 55, Reggie Freeman. Right, boom, there. I tell you, that is a block that sprung him, and that's a block that got this good field position.
First and 10, Saints at the 49er 42. Wilson back to throw it. Gets it outside to Derek Brown. 4 yards.
By Eric Davis, the gain of 4. Second and 6, 1 Saints.
Starting field position so far belongs to the Saints. Second and 6. 4 yards on that pass completion. Again, that short passing game you were talking about that has spread around the league. Brown. First down inside the 20. Inside the 30, beg your pardon. He bounced inside the 30. They'll bring it back to just about the strike.
Derek Brown was saying that he has visualization. In other words, he could visualize the whole thing. And Jim Morris says, I don't know if he has good visualization, but he said he just has good instinct, and he can find a hole and slash through it. Now, that was visualization right there. He went to the right, he visualized a whole bunch of guys there, so he cut to the left.
First and 10 at the 49er 30. Brown again. I think he visualized he wasn't going anywhere that time.
John Johnson, number 55.
Good play by the 49er defensive.
Well, here's John Johnson right here, and you see the ball starts away. Usually you have to block this guy back here, and he just sees that, and then when they go away, he just flattens out and runs right down the line of scrimmage.
Took a good angle. Second and 10. No gain on that last play. Wilson, the draw play. To about the 26. Brown stopped by Mike Walter.
Mike Walter on the tackle. Third.
And this is a situation that the Saints didn't want to get into. I think, Jim Mora, we talked to Wade Wilson, they wanted to be able to run the ball and stay out of 3rd and long. And, again, when you run the ball 2 times, you should be better than being in 3rd and 7 or 8. In fact, Wade Wilson says they would like to average over 4 yards on 1st down.
They go with 4 wide receivers, and Dalton Hilliard is the lone setback back with Wilson. He had no chance. No chance. Dennis Brown popped through the middle cleanly.
Dennis Brown and Mark Thomas, number 72. It just looks like a jailbreak here. Just watch these guys. There's a blitz from the outside. Dennis Brown weighs about 330 pounds. How you can miss that, I have no idea. But, boom, he just popped straight up the middle.
Morton Anderson will try again with Barnhart holding. This is going to be from 53 yards out. Saints lead it 3-0 from 53 yards. That's going to get there. But wide right. Plenty of distance. But wide to the right with 3:06 left in the first quarter, 3-0. Back at the Superdome in New Orleans. The Saints leading the 49ers 3-0. First quarter comes to an end just about. 3 minutes and 6 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Steve Young back to throw. Steps up. Looking for Rice. Incomplete. Toy Cook running right with him. Ran right into the ball. Knocked it away from Rice.
Does Toy Cook feel good about that? He knows that, he's a friend of Jerry Rice's. Toy Cook is from the Bay Area. He went to Stanford University, and Toy Cook isn't the fastest corner in the league, but when you can run stride for stride with a guy like Jerry Rice, it makes you feel good. Then when the ball is dropped right inside your arm, you even feel better. You get a little smile. Had you caught it, you would have gotten a laugh.
On 2nd down, it's Ricky Waters. Cut down from behind by James Williams, who's playing in place of Sam Mills, who's become such an institution here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the guy that made that play was number 91, old Pink Goff. Old Pink got in the backfield and made the ball go around, and then Williams is able to get to it. But watch Pink Goff here, number 91. Watch, he'll get penetration, and watch what happens when you get penetration. See Pink come in there, right there. See, that made Ricky Waters take that ball another step outside, and that let the penetration get to him.
3rd and 10. Young. Ricky Jackson was on him in a hurry. Reginald Jones right behind him. Young is shaky.
Ricky Jackson looked like he took a right hook at the head, and then it was Reggie Jones that hits him. But watch Jackson, he comes from up here, and just watch him. He just takes a swing at that arm, and then Reggie Jones, number 27, finally gets him. Watch him, whap, he takes that left. Steve Young ducks the left, and then he goes right into Reggie Jones, number 27.
And he got up very slowly. I think you can see why.
They have been all over Steve Young this first quarter.
Tyrone Hughes back deep for Wilmsmeyer's kick. They'll check on Steve Young.
Number 8 is a target.
Hughes away from 149er. To about the 32. So 1:57 left to play in the first quarter. The Saints over the 49ers 3-0. CBS Sports wraps up the regular season Saturday with regional coverage of Major League Baseball, beginning with Baseball 93 at 2:30 Eastern Time. Whatever game still has an effect on the outcome of the baseball races, we'll bring you.
You know, Steve Young is really upset. I mean, he's putting his gear back together. He even got his rib pad knocked off there. But that was a doctor that he was sitting next to, and the doctor started talking to him. He got mad, got up and left. He didn't want to hear about being hurt.
This is Brad Muster. 2 or 3. Muster just coming back after being unable to play for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the yardage on first down, and that's what makes second and third down. The Saints have had 6 first downs. Only 2 times have they got 4 or more yards. They ran 4 times and passed twice on first down. Now, they figure that they have to get more than 4 on that first down to stay in what they call stay in phase.
So at 2nd and 7, they didn't do it this time.
They're out of phase.
Wilson complete to Newman at the 45. Quinn Early, beg your pardon.
But that'll get you back in phase by just completing one for a first down. Early just comes out and he's just gonna run an in pattern here, and then he sees a double coverage. He just comes under control. You see right there the 2 guys. He doesn't get in where Hanks is, number 36. He sees Hanks and just pulls up and let Wade Wilson hit him right there.
That completion good for 13 yards. The 2 wideouts, Early and Martin, split wide to the left. The handoff is to Brown. He's got some room. Derek Brown out of bounds inside the 49er 30. At about the 29.5-yard line. Eric Davis bumped him.
You know, basically the Saints only have 1 play, and that's where you start the ball inside. You start it in here, and then everyone blocks, and wherever you find a hole, you just jump it out there. See, that play just starts up the middle, and then you find a little gap, then you take it to the left, and it becomes an outside play, but that started as an inside play. And anytime you get a big run by a running back, you're going to have good downfield blocks by the receiver, or average blocks by the receiver.
Martin and Early. Here's Wilson. The throwback is to Muster. Semi-screen pass out of bounds. Magruder took him out of bounds. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Saints 3, the 49ers nothing. The New Orleans Saints are back. Also back again in their case. They're 3-0, trying to go 4-0. They've been tough and a perennial playoff team ever since Jim Moore has been here. 2nd and 7. Here's Wade Wilson. Derek Martin, the possession man.
That wrap they put around his groin must have worked. Although he has a tough time getting up. See, he's right next to the tight end. He's right here. Here's a tight end here. He's just going to run an out pattern on that thing. See, Early goes outside. Martin kind of hides in there behind his tight end. You see him start out, and he becomes a short guy. Early deep, the tight end inside, and then Eric Martin just takes a little outside move, and that groin is still hurting him.
Eric Martin limped off. 1st and 10 Saints. Brown gets the carry on first down. Flag on the play as he gets hammered. Dennis Brown made the abrupt stop. Holding against the Saints is the preliminary indication.
Now, the 49ers over the years have lost a lot of guys on defense. I mean, you go back to Ronnie Lott, Charles Haley, Tim Harris, Pierce Holt. One of the guys they picked up was Tim McDonald.
Holding. Offense, number 82, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
That's their rookie tight end, Irv Smith, who they think is going to be a heck of a player.
And he was a guy that was a tight end to play before that, that Eric Martin got in behind there and made that little streak move off of. You'll just see 82. He's in motion here, and he just grabbed him with his left arm. With Michael Magruder, he was blocking, and He looked like he knew he did it, then he put his arms out. That always means you're guilty.
Oh, yeah. On first down, Wilson back to throw. Up the middle. That's Torrance Small that makes the reception down around the 49er 10. A pickup of 15.
Yeah, it seems like the Saints, even when Bobby Hebert was quarterback, they always hit right in this area. I mean, they always have someone running a pass pattern and just hitting right that slant in that area. Bobby Hebert could throw that pass. Wade Wilson could throw that pass.
2nd and 5. Ball's at the 10. 49ers showing blitz. Brown inside the 5. He'll have a first down there. It'll be 1st and goal.
I'll tell you one thing about Derek Brown, he gets into and out of the hole quickly. I mean, he doesn't spend a lot of time in that backfield, and then he doesn't spend a lot of time in that hole. Just watch how quickly he's just going to take off and how quickly he gets one right there to the hole, and then watch when he sees it right there how quickly he gets through that hole. I guess you have to visualize it first, and then everything you visualize, do it quickly.
It's a quick visualize in his case. 1st and goal at the 4. The Saints give the ball to Brown again. Near touchdown Ray. He stuck the ball in the end zone, but I think he was down first at about the half-yard line.
Yeah, what the officials rule is where the ball is when his knee goes down. See, the ball has to break the plane, but it's where the ball is where his knee goes down. But he makes a nice little squirt through there.
Doesn't he?
See, you see the ball cross the goal line, but they're going to put it where the ball was when his knee went down.
That's a perfect description of that run, a squirt.
This guy's a good little back. I like this guy.
They go with a full deck this time and give the ball to Brown again. Try to go over the top. They haven't indicated yay or nay yet.
Hey, the 49ers hit that thing. I think they indicated nay. Because what you have is you have behind this line, you have your jumper. Now the front line, everyone wants to get low, stay low, and then you got the jumpers coming over the top. You see the guy who really put the hit on there was number 99, Michael Walter.
With an assist from Romanowski.
He got that lead there, and then boom, the jumper's right over the top. See the jumpers come in there, jump, whap, no touchdown.
It remains 3-0. Saints over the 49ers.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Derek Brown is 48-yard rushing for the Saints. The average starting field position, though, perhaps the key. 49ers start average starting on their own 25. The Saints at the 49er 37. It's 3-0. And very rapidly it could be 10-0. That's how much they need.
Yeah, if you look at that, you would think you could almost quarterback sneak it or just fall into the end zone easily. The best play here would be a play pass. I mean, if you would fake a run with those jumpers in there and everyone down low, you would have a gimme pass in the end zone.
Which is probably what they won't do.
No, but you think that close, any other run, a quarterback sneak, any kind of run ought to be a gimme. Oh, Hilgenberg brought the ball back. They lost yardage.
He does that. Brown. He's in this time, I think. Yes, he is. Touchdown Saints.
That's when you have confidence in the rookie. When you keep him in down in the goal line, that's confidence. When you hand him the ball a couple times in a row, that's real confidence. We talked about how he gets to the hole quickly, how he squirts and slashes. I think we're going to see it all on this play. Get there quickly, and then get your little squirt and slash in there.
Got to give some credit to the block in front of him by Mustard.
He got his helmet knocked sideways.
Didn't he?
They got a new chant here in New Orleans. They just did it. Hoot! There it is.
Anderson is good. It's 10-0. Saints over the 49ers. There's the new saying. Hoot! There it is. 10-0. That's the new slogan in New Orleans. Whoop, there it is.
Well, you know, you just can't say, hoot, there it is. I mean, it's like a rap song and a dance. And, you know, I mean, you got to move. Yo, hoot, there it is. You got to get a bunch of your parts and stuff moving when you do it. It's just not like a, yo, hoot, there.
It's not just a sign.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but there's a lot of other words and a lot of stuff. You just keep repeating it.
Well, my treat's going to be when you start demonstrating. Get those parts moving.
I got it. Whoop, there it is. They got the whole thing. It's hard once you get them started. It's hard to get them stopped.
At the 6, Amp lead, and down at the 10. But those of you who might have some time, check this banner: free beer and Cajun cooking rice, all on the Madden Cruiser, all on the Madden bus, right after the game. You better figure out a way to get out of here in a hurry.
Good, and it said save some rice for pig golf.
Now, pig golf does not want to be called piggy.
I think we're going to get out of here quickly. But, you know, talking about some rice, Jerry Rice has yet to catch a pass. And I know that you always want to get the ball to Rice, and you always want to get it to him early. The 49ers have done neither.
Brent Jones was the man in motion. Outside it comes to Logan.
I think that this is part of it. You looked at New Orleans has had the ball for over 12 minutes. The 49ers are just 6 minutes and 26 seconds. So a lot of times you say they ought to do this. They ought to run. They ought to pass. They ought to get the ball to Taylor, to Rice, to Jones, run it more to Waters. But when you only have 6 minutes of ball, you don't have a lot of plays in that time.
2nd and 2. Rice is split wide to the left. To Rice. Out of bounds at the 49er 43. James Williams.
That's what you have to do. Now, Jerry Rice usually lines up on the right side. Here he is in the left, and I think that they can throw a timing pattern better to Jerry Rice when he's on the left side. That was the zone coverage. Toy Cook didn't come in. He makes someone miss. And I think that Jerry Rice, after he catches the ball, is as good a runner as there's ever been in this game with the ball.
And if he's not, John Taylor is.
That's what they have. They have a lot of guys with what they call run after catch.
That's the runners. By Jackson. And as is always the case with the Saints, there's more than one player involved in the tackle.
You know, and this 49er huddle always has to be something, because Ricky Waters has a saying. He gets in the huddle and he just says, turn on the water. And then, of course, Rice says, I'm open. Taylor says, I'm open. Brent Jones says he wants the ball. And as, you know, I mean, Steve Young says, you know, he said, every receiver I have is an all-pro guy.
We need about 80 plays a game to keep them all happy. Outside to Brent Jones. Another San Francisco first down. Stopped by Vaughn Johnson.
Yeah, you get the feeling that the 49er offense have just had some kind of wake-up call. They're spreading the ball around now. Their pass protection has settled down. And, you know, maybe it took 10 points. But they know that the Saints have always played them tough, but they've always been able to come back and beat the Saints.
They have a first down at the Saint 36. Left to play. 9 minutes left to play in the first half. Young changing the play.
This is where this is the toughest stadium in the NFL.
Look out. Young read it. Got it to Rice. Just as he was hit by Jackson, he let it go.
Hey, Vince Buck really had good coverage on that one. That was a perfect timing pattern. That's the way they try and do it. Get back, get rid of the ball. Jerry Rice running that slant. The 49ers have been doing that forever. But see, now, it just seems that once they get Jerry Rice, the whole first quarter until this series, Rice wasn't in the game. Once they get him into the game, this is a totally different offense.
First down, Waters. He got a couple.
George Seifert. You know, they got, you see those shirts they got? Everyone's wearing those shirts, and they got the thing on the back now. You see this thing on the back there? Remember in the old days, that was the way you could tell if your shirt was on inside out. Now they put the label on the outside.
That's so you know where to hang it up.
You know where you've been.
2nd and 8. Rice comes to the right this time. Waters is the wide receiver to the left. There's Young back to throw it. Gets it out to Brent Jones quickly.
Well, I'll tell you, did Steve Young get rid of that ball? Ricky Jackson comes free. No one blocks Jackson. Watch Jackson. He's here. He's going to come from this outside free. No one blocks him. And Steve Young, he's 57 there. See, no one blocked him, and he had to get rid of the ball quickly.
If I'm coaching against the New Orleans Saints, I got to know where 57 is. I got to make sure we got somebody assigned to block him.
And if you don't, you better get rid of that ball quickly.
3rd and 3. Young leaves the pocket again. Is chased again. Grounds it. Before he goes out of bounds. Toy Cook in pursuit.
You know, Toy Cook was the corner, Pat, but he was up on the line of scrimmage. Here's Jackson. Here's Toy Cook. He comes up and rushes from here. Jackson rushes from here, and Cook is the guy that eventually gets him. You see, they bring the corner up, and they blitz him right there. They don't get out. Toy Cook stays with it. See, now you got a corner instead of a big defensive lineman running against Steve Young. You got a corner chasing him, and he catches him.
From 34 yards out for Kofor. And the 49ers are on the board. Kofor's kick good. It's 10-3. The Saints lead it. .6:54 left in the first half. Saints 10, 49ers 3. Look at this.
You know, in the last 4 meetings, if you look, you see why the 49ers can have confidence. They start off in the first quarter. They can always, you know, beat the 49ers. Second quarter, the time is updated to the day. Third quarter, they can get them. But look what happens in the fourth quarter. In the last 4 meetings, 41 points for the 49ers and the Saints nothing. So that has to be on the minds of both of these teams.
McAfee and Hughes back deep for Kofor's kickoff. Fred McAfee about 2 yards deep in the end zone. To about the 18. Stop there. Right now, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update. Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat and John, a little baseball information for you. At Philadelphia, Atlanta reliever Greg McMichael gets Jim Eisenreich to ground out. Atlanta beats the Phillies 7-2, but the Phillies' magic number is down to 3 because Montreal lost. Meanwhile, the Braves will keep an eye on the game at Candlestick. The Giants are trailing 1-0. They trail Atlanta in the NL West by 2 games. Pat?
Here at the Superdome in New Orleans, it's 10-3. The Saints over the 49ers. That was not really an NFL update, was it? A baseball update.
Anything that has ball in it, we just keep track of it. Baseball, football, Ryder Cup, golf ball, anything.
Derek Brown trying to pick his way. Started straight up the field, then to his left, and back to the middle again. Stopped by Mike Walter.
And I guess while we're talking about ball and baseball and football and golf ball, we ought to congratulate the Ryder Cup team, huh?
Absolutely.
Some of those guys have to be friends of yours.
Yes, they are. A couple of them really made unexpected contributions, like Chip Beck, like Davis Love. 2nd and 7.
Davis Love can eat like a tackle in the NFL.
But he doesn't look like it. Brown, here a first down. Stopped by John Johnson.
Yeah, talking about this offensive line of the Saints is a much improved group. You know, Cooper at left tackle, Ward at left guard, Jay Hilgenberg, I think, this big guy here, 77, Will Rofe, I think he is going to be an all-pro player. He's the #1 draft choice. Came in his first year, but he looks like he's been playing forever. And they got Derek Kennard at right guard. They with the running of Derek Brown have kind of controlled that line of scrimmage pretty much in this game.
1st and 10. Saints. 49ers blitz it. Wilson reads it. Gets it to Torrance Small.
You see Wade Wilson, he saw the blitz coming. He points to it. Watch it. Here's a blitzer right here. He's going to see it. He sees it and he points to it and says, someone block him. He knows that guy has to be Derek Brown. We talked about how Derek Brown could block. He gets up, boom, he picks up the blitzer, and you got to give him some credit for that.
He sent the blitzer airborne.
That's what a running back from Nebraska will do. They'll send a lot of defensive guys airborne.
1st and 10 Saints. Brown the lone setback. Wilson back to throw. Eric Martin saw it slip right through his hands. That was a good throw. No reason for you to be disgusted.
You know, and it all starts with the protection we talked about. Watch this. The 49ers haven't been able to get there with a 3-man rush. They're bringing 4. They're blitzing, but that's good protection. See how they got that pocket around Wade Wilson. And that's just a perfect pass. I mean, that's right in there where, you know, Eric Martin catches those all his life. Eric Martin is not an untough guy, by the way.
A very tough guy. Wilson 7 out of 11. 2nd and 10. 49ers showing blitz again. No flags. No penalty marker. The Saints are saying we can't believe it.
I don't know that
Maybe
it wasn't Tim McDonald, though. Tim McDonald was the safety, and he was the guy who was faking blitz again, and I don't know that he jumped offside. And we'll see Tim McDonald from the outside. Oh, yeah, they're in the neutral zone there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the neutral zone is the length of the ball, and it happened over on that left side. So anytime you get in that area where the football is, that should have been a penalty against the 49ers.
3rd and 10. No blitz this time. Wilson has his pass almost picked off. Went early. Was the intended receiver, Eric Davis, back for the 49ers.
Yeah, Eric Davis has had a tough start to this year. Remember Cleveland when he was playing against Michael Jackson, the first play of the game? I mean, they hit Eric Davis on a couple of big ones, and people have been beating him with double moves. He's been working with his coach, Eric Wright, on that. He's going to be tested until he put out the fire. He helped put out the fire there.
Tommy Barnhart back to punt for the Saints. Dexter Carter. Good kick by Barnhart. Carter at the 7. Got something set up almost. But the Saints, the special teams, and the gang tackling they do, well, nobody else matches. 10-3, Saints lead.
You know, just watch this punt coverage. Anytime you get a Jim Mora coach team, you get guys that hustle, that swarm, that gang tackle, and tackle well. I think tackling is contagious, but watch all these guys. They're just like ants. Watch how all these guys are around the ball. Everyone gets in the picture. Every Saint gets in the picture. They're all there, and then watch. Once they make a hit, boom, they all just come. I think there's no one that tackles better, pursues better, and brings a whole group of guys better than the New Orleans Saints.
As you say, it's contagious.
I think it is. And I think bad tackling can be contagious, too, because around the league over the years, we've seen a lot of that.
Oh, I think when you become cautious, you become a bad tackler. You've got to be aggressive. This is Warner. Maybe a yard. Stopped by Vaughn Johnson. Vaughn Johnson has been sort of overshadowed by the other members of this outstanding linebacking corps, but he's as good as there is at that position, too.
Yeah, and he's playing without his other inside mate, Sam Mills, who has a knee injury, a staph infection in his knee.
2nd and 8. Young is 8 out of 10. Gets it quickly to Logan, and again, Saints are all around the ball. Rams over Houston. That was a shocker. Miami handled Buffalo in extremely bad weather. Cleveland is no longer unbeaten. Buys today: Dallas, Giants, Redskins, Eagles, Denver, San Diego, Kansas City, and the Raiders.
Too many teams staying in their house too early in the season, Pat.
I agree. 3rd and 5. Wide open is Odessa Turner. Out of bounds, and a first down, San Francisco.
Now, one thing I think in this second quarter, and maybe it all started with getting the ball to Jerry Rice, but you have the feeling that this 49er offense has calmed down. And I think with a quarterback like Steve Young and a running back like Ricky Waters, I think they're probably a little better when they're calmed down as compared to when they're all pumped up and tight.
Well, this is a hard place to get all the elements, extraneous elements, out of the way. The crowd is so loud. Young. Brent Young. Not enough for a first. But
Young doesn't look like that thumb is bothering him. He says that, that sometimes it just does funny things. He said it's, he's okay to play. The thumb is okay, but it's not 100%. But it sure looks pretty good now.
2 minutes left to play in the first half. 10-3. That's a game I'll never forget.
Yeah, and John Frank was the tight end for the 49ers in those days, and Lawrence Taylor was the best linebacker all of football, and you would have thought that it would have been Taylor getting the pin on Frank, wouldn't it?
Frank is now a doctor. Taylor still plays. Jerry Rice stopped, and that pass almost picked off by Toy Cook. Right through his hands. Right
through his hands. I think one way to get the ball to Jerry Rice, because Steve Young is a left-hander, is put him more on the left side, which you're doing now. The timing was there. That was just a poor pass. That might have been one of those funny things that happens to that left hand because the thumb is so swollen.
3rd and 2. San Francisco 2 out of 6 on 3rd down conversion. Waters breaks. That percentage is going to improve. He gets into Saint territory. Ricky Waters stopped by Taylor and Atkins.
Yeah, that's John Taylor down there, and then the other guy in there that's playing for the Saints is number 29, Keith Taylor, John Taylor's brother.
Forget about brothers right now. 10-3, the Saints lead. We have 1:41 left to play in the first half.
There's Keith Taylor. You wonder what friends think and family and stuff. You see, on one side, you got John Taylor, the receiver, and the other side you got his younger brother Keith Taylor, and going after each other. And if you're part of the family and friends and so on, who do you root for?
Well, the two brothers, I know how they handle it. One plays for the Saints, one plays for the 49ers. They'll talk about it. Here are a couple other brothers. That's Jay Hilgenberg, of course, number 62.
Right, and he's the starting center now because his brother Joel is injured.
They play catch upside down without ever looking at each other.
And that's the way they do it. They play catch backwards. But so we have two brothers on one team, and then we have two brothers playing against each other.
Here's Steve Young out of the pocket, chased. Gets away from one man. And out of bounds finally at the 45. Ronaldo Turnbull was chasing him. Got away from him.
And he stepped out of Frank Warren's tackle. And that's what Ronaldo Turnbull was saying. It was an interesting thing. He was talking about Steve Young. And he said, Steve Young lifts his feet. And a lot of quarterbacks, they just run, but they don't lift their feet. Running backs lift their feet. And on that play, you saw Frank Warren was going for the tackle, and Steve Young just lifted his feet and stepped right out of the tackle.
Stepped out of the tackle is exactly right. Second down at the Saint 45. They need about 8 for a first. They're going after Steve Young Johnson.
That's where this state defense is so tough. You know, you get concerned about the guys coming from the outside. You're always like, we can stop it now. You always look, you get concerned out here, and then when they bring someone like Vaughn Johnson right up the middle, you're not ready for it. They're always worried about, you know, blocking this guy out there, blocking that guy out there. They don't bring their inside guys much, but when they do, they get big plays.
A loss of 11. Picked off by Keith Taylor. Taylor down the sideline for the Saints. Knocked out of bounds at the San Francisco 42.
And that one, did you see that one when it left Steve Young's hand? That one wobbled out of there. That one came out of his hand like a knuckleball. You're going to see Taylor's back here as his safety. This is Steve Young's 8th interception of the year. Now watch him. He's just sitting there. Taylor's just sitting there, and he throws the ball right to him. He just comes in, makes the play there, but that ball just kind of flopped out of there. That was not a spiral.
Sort of floated.
Watch it. You see it comes out of there? That looks like the last shot out of a Roman candle. That hung up there, and that let Keith Taylor get over there. Just talking about now, you wonder who they're rooting for. John Taylor was out running a pattern. Keith Taylor gets the interception.
1st and 10 Saints at the 49er 45. Wilson behind the intended receiver, Patrick Newman.
Yeah, the Saint defense has really been going after Steve Young. They've sacked him 3 times already in this first half, hurried him 6 times, knocked him down 4 times, and they've gotten 1 interception. This has been a long half for number 8.
2nd and 10. 4 wide receivers for the Saints. 49ers do not blitz. To Dalton Hilliard, and they had it read perfectly. Morton Anderson getting ready with 44 seconds left to play in the first half. The Saints lead 10-3. Outside the dome.
Well, you know, we went outside to look for the barbecue, and they don't have it. They kind of had it hidden under a helmet. And you look, one thing you get in New Orleans, you're always going to get a sausage.
Spicy.
Then the other thing is, where's the red beans and rice?
You got to have a pot. Hey, rice.
Red beans and rice.
Hoot, there it is. You just feel like diving right in there. See, they had the red beans in there. They hadn't put the rice in there. Then you put that, you know, that hot sauce on there. I'll tell you, you can make a meal out of that. You don't need a heck of a lot more to keep you going.
You might feel like diving right in there.
No, I do, yeah. You can just take the thing and put it up and start eating.
Wade Wilson. Eric Martin. That was incomplete. Appeared that he had it. Wade Wilson all upset.
That's a second pass he's thrown to Eric Martin as he's dropped.
Well, he has that groin pull, not to make excuses for him, but sometimes you get distracted. This is Barnhart back to punt.
That would have put him in a field goal position there.
Sure would have. For Morton Anderson especially. High kick. Landed in the end zone. They'll bring it back to the 20. The 49ers will have 30 seconds after that 45-yard punt. Sort of get the impression that both teams still are feeling each other out. Both afraid to make a mistake. Both very cautious.
And if you look at the series, though, that this is the way that the Saints and the 49ers play. And the Saints usually win the early part of it, and then in the fourth quarter, the 49ers, either in San Francisco or here in New Orleans, just find a way to beat them in the fourth quarter, and you have a feeling that it could be that type of game again. Now, maybe the fourth quarter is going to change.
Maybe. That's the kind of thing that the coaches say put out of your mind, but you can't do that. This is water. It's inevitable that you keep this in the back of your mind at 41-0 in the fourth quarter.
And that's the way it goes. You see, we're going no huddle here, but for 3 quarters, the Saints always play them well, and historically have problems in the fourth.
They need 4 for a first down. Waters might have gotten it, but the clock is now stopped with 4 seconds left in the first half.
I don't know what that was for. I mean, you would think if they were really going to go for it, they would have thrown the ball up the field. But to wait and take time out and have 4 seconds left, you need a 70-yard play. Of course, there is the one thing that the half can't end on a defensive penalty, so you can look for a defensive penalty too. Maybe
a Hail Mary type pass and hope for a penalty.
Yeah. That's the thing. Either you throw it 80 yards, which Steve Young isn't going to do, or you just throw it up there somewhere and hope for a defensive penalty, or you say, what the heck we take time out for?
We could be in the locker room.
You should be in the locker room.
If that's the play, why take time out? That's the end of the first half with the score. The Saints 10, the 49ers 3.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Oldsmobile. Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your bud. Xerox, the document company. And by Allied Signals Autolite spark plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go. CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. AT&T, we help put your world within reach. Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. And by GE Appliances, we bring good things to life.
Back at the Superdome in New Orleans, halftime statistics. Saints 10 first downs to 7 over San Francisco. Time of possession pretty even. Turnovers uneven, and they've led the points. 3 for the Saints.
And it's really been a typical Saint 49 game this first half. You have good, crisp defense, good tackling. Both teams are really getting after the quarterbacks. And I'll tell you, the New Orleans Saint defense really did a job on Steve Young. I mean, they didn't let him get started. Then he started to get untracked a little, and then they put the clamps back on him again.
They say you have to rush him in a controlled fashion so he doesn't duck under you, get outside of you, but you really can't do that either. You'll never get there.
No, the Saints don't believe that. I mean, because if you start coming under control, you just let him stand back there and pick you apart. The way the Saints go, and they're doing it well, is you just take off after him, and if he gets by you, go chase him until you catch him, and they've done a pretty good job at that.
The Saints will receive the second half kickoff. McAfee and Hughes back deep for New Orleans. Kofer's kick sails to Fred McAfee at the 2. To about the 24. Troy Cook. Thumb wrapped over on the sideline.
The Saints got 10 points in that first half, and what they wanted to do was get 5 or more or 4 or more yards on first down. You can see that they had 14 first downs, but only 5 times on those 14 first downs did they get 5 or more yards, and that's probably why they've stalled. I mean, they've gotten some things going, but not a consistent offense just marching down the field.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers this time. One of the tight ends in motion. Handoff is to Brown. To about the 28-yard line. Stopped by Romanowski.
They got right in there behind Will Rolfe. You know, we talked about him being a rookie tackle, and you just watch him on film and watch him on the game, and he just seems so natural. Here he is. I mean, he's a guy who weighs about 320 pounds, and he just has good blocking technique. He has a good stance. You see him fire out there and just get on that linebacker, and then they almost hide the linebacker. He can't see, and by the time Romanowski gets there, they got 5 yards.
That's Muster over the left side. They'll be short of the first down. Muster got about 3. Rolfe was saying yesterday, I asked him, they got you listed at 299 pounds. Why 299? He said, well, I'm a little bit more than that.
Yeah, he is. But, you know, he's not a fat guy. I mean, he is just a big guy. I mean, even that number looks strange, 299. You know someone's bluffing on that deal. You know, when they drafted him, he was Willie Rowe. And his mother didn't like it and said, look, when you go into the pros, change your name to William. I want you to be called William. I don't want to hear any more of that Willie Rowe.
3rd and 2. Brown behind the line of scrimmage by McDonald, who came around the corner.
Now, McDonald's the guy they paid the big money to, and they paid the big money to make plays like this. You can see he comes up on the line of scrimmage. You see now as the ball goes away, he's going to get in there the way we've seen linebackers do it. You see, he just knifes in there. The ball goes away. When you see the ball goes away, boom, you just flatten out. And that's exactly what Tim McDonald did.
So Tommy Barnhart will come on to kick to Dexter Carter. Standing by himself back at about the 20. Carter signals fair catch and makes it at the 22. So the 49ers will have their first chance on offense in the second half. Wade Wilson, just with the offensive unit, couldn't get it done with one series. Wade Wilson's a very controlled, thinking type of guy, as is Steve Young.
Yeah, well, Steve Young, you see on their first down, they've had 12 first downs in the first half, but they've made 4 or more yards 7 times. And a big part of that is because they're not afraid to pass on first down. And I think that's one of the ways that they get so much yardage on first down, like good mixture.
Their passes of the short variety, almost like running plays. This is Ricky Waters. Doesn't get much. Wayne Martin.
Hey, he pulled their guard, the off-guard tackle. They pulled Tam and Harris Barton, but there was nothing there. You watch when that offside comes around. In other words, look at Barton. He's looking where he's going to pull. You shouldn't be looking that way. He's looking to the left. He's going to pull to the left. He's telling everyone where it's going. But watch, by the time they get there, there's just too much penetration. There's no place to ream out. You have to have a hole that those guys can ream out when they get there.
2nd and 9. Young to throw it. Under pressure. Ducks under Vaughn Johnson, but not away from Ricky Jackson. Ronaldo Turnbull.
You know, I think the thing that is really fouling the 49ers up is you get so conscious of these guys coming from the outside that you forget the inside guy. And anytime you bring an inside guy, he usually gets free. Because watch, right there, you see they look here. Here comes Vaughn Johnson straight up the middle, 53. He was the guy that broke that play. I think the 49ers are so concerned outside that anytime you bring something inside, you're getting good pressure.
3rd and 10. Rice was the move man. Here is Young with protection. This time gets it to Rice. Enough for a 49er first down. Out about the 39. Vince Buck made the stop, but pass protection, as you always say, was the key to that.
Yeah, the good pass protection. Here's you see Rice. Again, he doesn't always line up inside or outside. They like to get him off the line and then move him. Because the thing that does is that fouls up the coverage. Plus, you can't get a bump on him. You saw him move to the inside, come back, and then just run across and come under control in the middle.
They're trying to play man-to-man on him, and he just got lost.
Now, a cross will always be open somewhere.
That's Waters over the right side. Stopped by Frank Warren. A couple of yards, perhaps.
In fact, that's what you try and do. Against the zone, you try and sit down in holes. and against a man-to-man, you try and run away from it. That's what Rice was doing, running away from man coverage. Look at this. He's caught yards of point of catch is 31, and then after the catch, we call the rack run after catch.
Second down and about 8. Here comes the blitz. That's Ricky Waters away from 2 Saints. And finally out of bounds in New Orleans territory.
Yeah, and that's not a bad play there. They've been getting that inside rush, that inside pursuit, so you run right at it, bunch it all in, and then bounce away from it. And one thing that Ricky Waters does is use that old stiff arm. Remember that? Watch that. Boom, he just takes that right arm out there and just pushes that tackler right away. Now, if you stay in bounds with that, then it's a great play. It's not a bad play there, but if you go out of bounds, it's average.
It was good for 17 yards. And here's Young to throw it. With time, he hits Rice again. John Taylor this time.
You see who the tackler was here? Right over the top was his brother, Keith Taylor. Keith Taylor, again, is a safety. He wouldn't be playing man-to-man on John Taylor, but once John Taylor catches a ball, then they all go after him. John Taylor was the older brother, and he said he started letting Keith play basketball with him. And then he would always guard him and not let him get any points. And Keith said that really made him grow up.
On 2nd and 5, this is Waters. A 49er first down, stopped by Atkins.
9 yards on the carry by Ricky Waters.
Yeah, Ricky Waters is an emotional guy, and you know, sometimes his emotions get out of control, but like George Seifert said, this guy's strength is his emotion. So you want his emotions under control, but you don't want to control him so much that he loses the strength of his emotion. I understand that.
First down, San Francisco at the Saint 28. Here's Waters again. To about the 23.
You know, most teams in the NFL, and we've talked about this before, how they always start out and they establish the run early and then come pass later. The 49ers, all the way back to Bill Walsh, started that where they established the pass early and then kind of wear you down and then come back to the run later.
They've done that, as you say, since Walsh was there. Waters, 15 carries now, 83 yards. A quiet 100 he's approaching again. On second down, it's Logan. With some room inside the 5, Logan scores for the 49ers.
They wore him down with the running. They were watching Ricky Waters. Waters went in motion, became a blocker, and boom, they just popped Mark Logan right through there. Yeah, if we watch it here, here's Waters. See, and everyone's watching him. He goes in motion, but he's not going to get the ball. Mark Logan is going to get the ball. See, Waters just did that. Then they just slash it right back. Logan gets the ball on the right side, goes right to the left against the grain. The last guy there was number 41, Toy Cook, and boom, he just ran right over him.
That knocked him backwards. 49ers with a chance to tie. Saint injured on the play.
Here's Mark Logan right here. Now he's going to get 3 blocks. 1 is right here by Tam. 2 is right here by Wallace. He gets the trap there, then the block, then number 3 is right here by Brent Jones. So Tam kicked out. Steve Wallace made a good inside block. Jones made a good downfield block. And then Toy Cook just got run over.
And it's 10-10. With 7:57 left to play in the third quarter. Tie score in the Superdome.
Loper,
10-10 tie in the third quarter.
Let's watch this. Here's Toy Cook, and there's Mark Logan. He just runs right over him. That is how you finish off a run at the goal line. And then an ugly spike.
That's how you finish off a defensive back.
Yeah, Toy Cook's wondering where in the heck that thing came from. He didn't even try and tackle it. That was some kind of side body block or something.
Hofer drills it deep into the end zone to Fred McAfee, who downs it wisely there. And the Saints will take over. George Seifert Club's scoring drive, 9 plays, 78 yards. Logan finished it off with that 23-yard touchdown run. The first point scored.
I think a lot of that, Pat, was it was loosened up by the run of Ricky Waters too. I think that they got the run, the final one, the one that broke it was Mark Logan. I think that Ricky Waters' run had a lot to do with it too.
A couple of good runs by Waters. First and 10. The Saints will go right to the air. Open is Hobie Brenner out near midfield.
That's one of the things that Wade Wilson has added to this offense. The tight end Hobie Brenner. They haven't thrown to Hobie Brenner in about 5 years.
Well, he's been here 13.
And no one told Wade Wilson. He said he just looks and finds out who's open. He said sometimes on a pattern like this, you'll find the tight end open. For years, they hadn't looked for Hobie Brenner. Now Wade Wilson's doing it.
First down, Saints. Again, Wilson to work. Gets it out to Brown. Drops it. Looked upfield just before the ball got there.
Hobie Brenner had a touchdown last week. He said he got man-to-man on a linebacker, and he said, I may have found a linebacker that was slower than me. It was Chris Spielman of the Detroit Lions.
His first touchdown since 1990.
Yeah, Wade Wilson says one of the things when he came here that he wanted to do and that he felt that the Saints offense didn't do is really spread the ball around to all the personnel and to all the areas in the field.
Second and 10. Nobody offside. Now there is a flag as Brown was the ball carrier. Looked like he got back. Merton Hanks, I believe, might have jumped from the outside.
It seems like there's so much of that. The crowd, teams trying to, the hard count. I think Wade Wilson took a hard count that time to draw him offside.
Offside. Defense, number 58. 5-yard penalty.
Well,
Repeat
sorry,
the down.
Merton Hanks.
Second down.
It was Todd Kelly.
5 yards against the 49ers.
Bert Seifert knows that it's those things that'll kill you. You get them, you get the team stopped. Todd Kelly, of course, is a rookie, and I think that Wade Wilson got him with that hard count. I think that Kelly jumped on the count rather than the movement of the ball.
Makes it 2nd and 5. Smith is the man in motion. They draw. Trying to go deep. Smith covered by a linebacker, but he is called for interference. That was John Johnson back there with the tight end.
I think maybe they're going to call it offensive interference. Usually when they come back, it's against the offense.
Dick Hantak.
Maybe he's going to say he couldn't have caught it. That's a bad rule.
How do you know?
I know it's good. It's not going to be for the Saints. It's either going to be no penalty or it's going to be a penalty against the Saints. Because that man looks too calm.
Well, he always
on his sideline.
He always looks calm. Always is calm outwardly. Well, maybe not.
He wants to put him back. It's going to be a defensive penalty on the Saints. An offensive penalty on the Saints, I mean.
There is no foul on the defense as the pass was ruled uncatchable. We have holding on the offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
See, I don't believe in that rule. I mean, that one where you say that it couldn't be caught, because if the guy didn't knock him out, how do you know? I mean, the guy can run 20 yards when the ball's in the air. This is one of the rules that I've never believed in. I mean, they said that, okay, it was a penalty, but the guy couldn't have caught it. Well, if he doesn't bump him here, how do you know that he can't catch the ball? Or how do you know the quarterback would throw it in the same place?
Right.
Of course, then they called holding against Derek Kennard, the right guard.
So it brings up 2nd and 15. Wilson to throw. Outside to Derek Brown taken down by Johnson.
You know, one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about Wade Wilson, and I've always admired, is he's a diabetic, and he has to, take insulin shots every day, and he tests his blood sugar level every day. And in fact, he tested before the game, even tested at halftime, and he always tries to keep it during a game at 150 to 175.
Above normal.
Right, he said 100 is normal, but when you see a guy who's a diabetic play on this level as well as he does, I think that gives hope to a lot of people.
Up the middle. This is Eric Martin, and this time he hung on. Close to a first down. Close enough to measure, I believe.
I thought you said that George Seifert never shows any emotion.
I said that.
He almost made himself perpendicular. He almost went down on one of those things. That's John Marshall, one of his defensive coaches, his defensive line coach. That's Fisher, his defensive coordinator. Of course, he's getting on all the coaches.
Who's ever close?
Hey, he wanted to get there, and when Wade Wilson had time to throw that ball, George Seifert wanted someone out. He's going to talk to someone else.
And don't call back either.
I know it. He has to talk to Bill McPherson right there. That's the defensive coordinator. And it was that last call that he didn't like. He's not letting that one go away quickly.
He really didn't like it. 1st and 10. Handoff is to Brown. A yard perhaps. Wrapped up by Mike Walter.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen George Seifert like that. I mean, he went after his defensive coordinator. He went after his defensive backfield coach. He went after his defensive line coach.
Yeah. Went after the telephone.
Still talking to Fisher there. That's Jeff Fisher. Remember, he coached with Buddy Ryan, with the Eagles, with the Los Angeles Rams.
Woo. 2nd and 10. I take back everything I said about Seifert getting excited. Brown again on 2nd down. Not a popular call at the Superdome. Ted Washington made the stop.
Now, this is the same situation. See, whatever they did last time, it's a 3rd down. So this is where he doesn't want him to have time to throw the ball. Whatever they did the last time on 3rd down, they're not going to do this time.
Seifert was a defensive coordinator himself. So he knows what's going on.
They're playing him with 6 defensive backs against 4 wide receivers. He probably doesn't want to blitz.
Wilson going deep for Martin, incomplete. And no flag. No flag. Could have been caught, would have been a great catch. There is a flag, I beg your pardon, on the far side of the field. And it's going to be against the 49ers.
Holding, defense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Now,
I think George has to get mad at a player now. Because the one before, I think he got the call he wanted. He just didn't get the play he wanted. That's a killer for a defense when you get that holding, because it's also a 5-yard penalty. And that doesn't kill you. The thing that kills you is that automatic first down.
so the Saints will keep the ball because of that. 1st and 10 at the 34. Wilson again to Muster. Brad Muster hammers down to about the 23. That should be enough for another first down for the Saints.
Yeah, that Muster's an amazing guy. He always gains yardage, but he never looks like he's going fast. I mean, he's a fullback, and he's a good receiver coming out of the backfield, but he never looks like he's running very fast, but yet he's gaining yardage.
Well, he's a big, tall guy, 6'4", 230 or thereabouts. It is a first down for the Saints.
He looks like he always does it in slow motion.
Wilson to Brown. Near the 20.
Yeah, this is a good drive here for the Saints, because what they're doing is they're starting to wear down that 49er defense. Now, the 49er defense has those big guys in there, Ted Washington, Dennis Brown. They aren't in great shape. In fact, they didn't even let them practice with the team the first month of the season. So the longer you keep the ball, the longer you can keep those guys out on the field, you start to get a step on it.
Good for them, too, that this game is inside in air-conditioned conditions. Wilson. They have Eric Martin again. Merton Hanks, the cover man. Incomplete.
That's the third time he threw to Eric Martin and he didn't get the ball. What it looks like from the quarterback's point of view, Bill Romanowski's coming straight at him. He doesn't even look at Romanowski. He just stands in there. When Jim Mora talked about Wade Wilson, he said the thing that I like about him is no matter what they do to him, he just stands in there and steps straight at him. And that's exactly what he did on that play.
And at the other end of that, that was a good pass, too, right in there.
It was a perfect throw.
Yeah. 3rd and 8. There's Wilson. He has time this time. Pass intended for Martin, or in the direction of Eric Martin. Merton Hanks caught it on a hop.
Yeah, Merton Hanks is playing in there free safety for Dana Hall, and he's been playing well today. He's the guy that made that play, that 2nd down play. He was there on 3rd down. He has a real good feel for the game.
Martin Anderson, number 7, with Barnhart holding.
Hey, that drive, I think, took a lot out of the 49er defense.
This will be a 39-yard shot for Anderson. And he's good. And the Saints recapture the lead, 13-10, with 2.5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, it was McDonald. Yeah. Saints set to kick it off now, leading by a Morton Anderson field goal from 39 yards out. They had the ball 11 plays, went 59 yards, and that finished it off. They ate up a lot of time on the clock in getting those 3 points.
Left that 49er defense out there a long time and really upset a head coach.
Anderson's kickoff. This is not going to be returned. May not be brought back. It hit the goalpost. 65 yards away, he hit the goalpost out of the end zone. Back at the Superdome in New Orleans, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 13-10, the Saints lead the 49ers. 2:25 left in the 3rd quarter. The 49ers have the ball at their own 20. Steve Young has quarterback throughout. 1st and 10. This is Brent Jones in motion, and Young back to throw it. Pump once. Now he's coming out of there.
Remember that?
Excuse me, go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, remember that play that George Seifert got so upset about? It was a 3rd down play, and they came on a blitz. Now watch, here's Merton Hanks right here. He comes on a blitz, and they hit the guy that he leaves right there, Eric Martin. See, he comes, boom, Wade Wilson sees it and picks up the 1st down, and that was a play that drove George Seifert crazy.
And also set up the field goal that put the Saints back ahead again. Waters straight ahead and close to a 1st down. Looks like he might have it. If he makes it to the stripe, he does. Les Miller made the stop.
There's the Saint offensive line over there. They're looking at the pictures of the defense and how they adjusted, and they're looking at their blitzes and deciding, what they're going to do to counter what the 49er defense is doing. And after a drive like that, you're going to have a lot of pictures. And on the other side, Jeff Fisher is there talking to the defensive backs about what they're going to do on 3rd down because the head coach doesn't want to blitz it anymore.
And I don't want him after me again. Young through the hands of Jerry Rice. Keith Taylor
You know, Jerry Rice has probably had more of these things happen to him in this year than he has in the last 3 or 4. This is something he says he's just in a slump. And, I mean, that's good pass protection. That ball's right there. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, you can't say that it was bad or behind him or anything. The guy just dropped the ball.
Right through his hands.
Steve Young was perfect on that. The protection was perfect. That was all just Jerry Rice.
2nd and 10. Young to Waters. Waters. First down, 49ers. Hard running by Ricky Waters. Stopped by Gene Atkins.
Ricky Waters lifted weights in the off season because, you know, after you have a 1,000-yard season, you go to the Pro Bowl the way Waters did, you realize that they're all looking for number 32 when they're going to run the ball. And he said the thing you got to do is, he said he took so many hits in his upper bodies and shoulders that he knew that he had to lift weights and get stronger in that area.
He needs 3 yards to get to 100 this afternoon. Rice is the man on the move. 1st and 10. San Francisco. Young outside to Logan. Logan slung out of bounds by Ronaldo Turnbull.
Yeah, Harris Martin was saying that last week Ricky Waters got 100 yards, and he kept saying in the huddle, you know, run the water, and they ran the water, and then he said usually you get something. He said at the end of the game, he said he forgot to pay the power bill.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Saints 13, the 49ers 10. Mississippi and the city of New Orleans, the Crescent City, the home of the Saints.
Yeah, how are you going to get any real football anymore, Pat, when you don't have the smells and the slop around? Once you get the slop in the ground, you got to leave it there.
One thing I'm sure of, that guy won't make the All-Madden team.
No, well, this whole stadium won't. When you're mopping up slop and stuff during the game, that's part of football. You know, that's part of the smells of football. You know, you got to let it sit there so the guys can kind of waller around in it when they do something good.
No. You can't just leave it there.
Oh, you got to leave it there.
Young to Logan. Saints are there. Big Goff led the defensive charge.
Yeah, the 49ers have really gotten most of their rushing yardage to the left. If you look, they've gone 17 times to the left running, so they're a left-handed running team for 115 yards. They've only ran 5 times for 22 to the right. So I don't know that that's Steve Young or it's the blockers or the defense, but the 49ers are also a left running team.
Well, you immediately think of it because he's left-handed. Up the middle this time, and Rice hangs on. Same 40, same kind of pass he dropped just a minute ago.
Knowing Jerry Rice and what kind of competitor is, there's probably no one harder on Jerry Rice than himself. And when he drops that one, no one feels worse about it or knows it more than he does. And I'm sure his feeling was, look, I won't do it again. Come right back to me, and the next time I'll get it.
See him put it away?
He says he's probably in a little slump, but I think when you have a guy like Jerry Rice, you just keep feeding him. And Steve Young knows that.
To Waters, 5 yards on the trap.
How in the heck Waters got his arm down in there around some legs and stuff? There's a lot of combinations down in there.
Waters over 100 yards now. 102.
Just watch how stuff happens at the end of the play. I mean, the play is over. The ball starts to come loose. Now, he doesn't want anyone to know or give them a fumble, so he's grabbing it. So he got his arm around legs and stuff because he's not going to let the officials make a mistake on that one.
2nd and 5. The handoff again to Waters. Hit by Vaughn Johnson. It'll bring up a 3rd down. You think about it. The Saints are unbeaten 3-0. Cleveland was unbeaten. They lost. Buffalo was unbeaten. They lost.
How about Chicago scoring 47 points? They unleashed that juggernaut, huh?
Tell you what. At home.
Well, Dave Wannstedt gets his first as a head coach.
19 carries for Waters, 103 yards. And Young by Ricky Jackson. He was going to roll out. He saw Ricky Jackson coming and tried to find some place to go.
I'll tell you, that'll make your heart beat faster. Watch this. Here's Jackson here. Now you're going to start off and you're going to start a rollout here. And look at this. You turn, and right there when you turn, the first thing you see is 57. You see your guard try and cut him. It didn't work. Now what do you think? You think, I'm going to get the heck out of this area and find some other area.
I'm going to find another direction.
The receiver said, who called that one? Well, that's tough when you run a bootleg or waggle right into a blitz. That's tough.
On 4th down and about 4 yards. We'll return to the Louisiana Superdome after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. (13-10) New Orleans, 11:45 left to play. 4th and 4. The 49ers put the field goal team on the field, then took them off and lined up as if to run a regular play, and the Saints were confused by that, took a timeout, and now they're going to go for it.
You know, I'm surprised down by 3 because it's inside that they didn't go for the field goal. I think Cofer can kick a 51-yard field goal in here.
His longest is 56, so you're certainly right about that. They're going for it. Young to throw it. Incomplete. Taylor had it and dropped it, or it was not loose. One or the other.
I'll tell you, that's great defense, great hit, and that wouldn't have been a first down anyway.
Here's the new call. Hoop defense.
They've had so many here. You remember they had Houdat, then they had Cha-Ching.
Yeah.
Now they got, there it is. Okay, this is good defense. You see, pretty good pass protection for right there. Right there was a good hit by Gene Atkins. Now, even if Taylor catches that ball, that wouldn't have been a first down.
I don't know if he ever had possession either. 1st and 10 Saints in any case on their own 34. And Wilson will throw it on 1st down. Gets it out to Brown. Picked up about 5. Stopped by Eric Davis.
Now, if you look in the first half, New Orleans rushed for 71 yards. In the second half, only 12. Now, conversely, the 49ers had 59 yards in the first half. They've had 84 in the second half. I'll tell you, that last time the Saints had the ball, though, was a long drive, and I still say that took a lot out of this 49er defense. They're going to start to be tired from now on.
2nd and 5. Brown is the lone setback. He gets the carry. 1st down, Saints.
You know, and that's why a guy like Hobie Brenner has been playing here for so long is a valuable guy. Hobie Brenner won't catch a lot of passes, won't score a lot of touchdowns, but he's a good blocker. And if you just watch, you're going to run to the left side. Now, here's Hobie Brenner. Now, if you're going to get out on this corner, get a soft corner here, this guy has to make a block. Now, watch him reach out. See the corner he gets right there? He's the guy who established that corner for Derek Brown.
Brown has 85 yards rushing. We'll try it again. Cross midfield to about the 49. Just as importantly, the clock is still running.
And watch, 2 tight ends in there, but watch the surge of the offensive line of the Saints. They're doing a good job. The center, Hilgenberg, the left guard, the left tackle, Cooper, the tight end. They're getting a big surge, and he just gets right in behind number 70, Chris Port. But that's a good surge. They're winning that battle now.
Hilgenberg is one of those guys who gets on you in a hurry and just stinks.
Yeah, and he has those old wrestling techniques. He's always not on you, but he's also under you.
2nd and 7. Wilson to throw it. Hobie Brenner was wide open. Shouldn't have been a surprise. Just should have been caught.
He knows that. He hasn't expected a lot of him. You were talking about Hilgenberg. Just watch the things that he does as a center here. And, you know, the first thing he has to do is snap the ball. Now, when you snap the ball, you can't get your right hand up because you snap with your right. So you have to get that left hand out right now. See, boom, you get that left hand up there. Then you can bring your right hand. And guys are always trying to go to your snap hand. So he just pushes them right that way. Gets the left hand up and just rides them right to the outside.
Then he gets underneath and sticks. On third down, Wilson. Across the middle. This will not be enough for a first down. Caught by Early. He'll bring up a fourth.
Wade Wilson has really had a better game than his statistics are going to show, because Hobie Brenner dropped one wide open. Eric Martin dropped a couple perfect passes wide open, and those won't show as statistics, but they were perfect passes.
Fourth down, about a little bit over 2. Barnard standing back to punt it to Dexter Carter. Clock still running. 49ers send a bunch of people to try to block it. Carter signals fair catch, makes it at about the 19 and a half. And the 49ers will have 80-plus yards to go.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We're going to win. I guarantee it.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Next week, that's where John Madden and I'll be, to watch the Jets and the Eagles.
Of course, Joe Namath won't be there, but Boomer Esiason will. And you know, I think in all the years I coached and watched, I don't know that there was a better pure passer than Joe Namath.
When his legs were good, well, he never were really coming out of college that good, but in those early years, he could really throw it. It was like throwing darts.
Yeah, and even when he did, you just couldn't get to him. I mean, he was throwing the ball down the field, and you'd blitz him, you'd try everything, and he'd get rid of the ball before you ever got there.
This is Waters around the corner and off for another San Francisco first down. Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The coordinating producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann, directed by Larry Calvalina. Senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Goren. Executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile. They produced another close one here in New Orleans. 1st and 10, San Francisco at their own 34. 8 minutes exactly left. Young, the fake, incomplete. Flag down, 2 flags. Toy Cook hit Logan before the ball got there.
Yeah, Toy Cook was in his zone. He saw that thing coming. They went a play pass and faked the run and threw it out there to Logan, and Cook just gets there too soon. He didn't even argue. I mean, he knows that's pass interference. Watch him. He mauls Logan before the ball ever gets there. That's, if you needed a definition of pass interference, you just show him that play. That's it.
Jim Mora didn't even protest. Wade Wilson.
And along with Carl Smith, who's the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints.
1st and 10. 49ers out in a hurry. Down to Waters. Waters for a couple. Vaughn Johnson, who's had a heck of a day, made the initial hit.
I wonder if on that pass, I don't have to wonder because I could see it, but when Toy Cook interfered with Mark Logan, it looked like he got hurt on that play, and he's over in the sideline checking him out. And he's been a big player since he's gotten in there for Tom Rathman. He's given some big plays to this 49er offense.
whistles. I see flags. Young's pass is complete to Adam Walker.
And that's one where the whistle blew Pat before the ball was snapped. So whatever they're going to call the penalty, they're going to say that that play didn't count because they blew the whistle before it even started.
False start. Offense, number 74, simulating the start of a play. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Steve Wallace, the left tackle, who's always had a difficult time here in New Orleans.
Anybody does, as loud as it is.
Yeah, part of it, here's Steve Wallace right here. Part of it is the sound, part of it is having to block Ronaldo Turnbull. Before that, it used to be Pat Swilling. You see, he just got up a little bit, but once you get set, you can't move for an offensive lineman.
Second and 12. You ask the 49ers if this is the loudest place they play in. By far is the answer.
They practiced here yesterday with music as loud as this playing while they practiced.
Pass complete from Young to Rice. Ricky Jackson made the stop.
I'll tell you, maybe it did help because that music was so loud. We were out here watching them practice, and you couldn't even carry on any kind of conversation.
Really couldn't.
And they practiced at their practice field with the same thing.
And they said that they couldn't make the music loud enough to be as loud as the crowd.
I think the music was Guns N' Roses, and some of the players enjoyed the music. They were trying to listen to the words.
Young to Rice. First down, 49ers in Saint territory.
Now that one was Jerry Rice on the right side on a slant, and it was perfect timing. Watch him. He's just going to come up and go into his left, the inside. Drive up. Now come right here under control. Hit him right there at the hash mark. That was a perfect pass by Steve Young. Just watch the timing here. It's right there. The way you want to hit Jerry Rice is in stride. That's the way for years that Joe Montana hit him, and he'd just keep going.
Rice has six catches for 89 yards. First and 10 at the Saint 45. Young to throw it again. Under pressure from Jackson, who takes him down. Ricky Jackson took Steve Young's helmet off and took him to the AstroTurf.
He must his hair up a little more. He really got to him. That was a big play by Ricky Jackson. Ricky Jackson's been making big plays here in New Orleans for a long time. Here's Jackson, number 57. You see him on Ralph Tam. See how strong he is? He just picks up that guard, Ralph Tam. He just lifts him up and puts him right in the backfield. Then he just gets Steve Young. Steve Young saw that one coming. He tried to duck under Ricky Jackson and couldn't do it.
He's been sacked 6 times by this Saint defense. Second and 16. Young back to throw again. Outside to a wide open Brent Jones to about the 39-yard line. They'll bring up a third down and about 4.
They just forgot to cover out there. The first guy there was Vince Buck. Watch him. He catches the ball. There's no one in the picture yet. He runs, 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, and the first guy to show up was Vince Buck, shortly followed by Vaughn Johnson.
Third down and 4.
I think the 49ers here, the last time they went for it on 4th down, and here I think they will. So they're probably thinking in terms of 2 downs to get a first down.
Here's Young to throw it. Going deep to Rice. Incomplete. And could have been picked off by Reggie Jones. Went through his hand.
Perfect coverage. They had Jerry Rice double coverage. This is what you call a banjo. They have him just a guy inside and a guy outside. So you can say, what's banjo? Here's a guy inside. Here's a guy outside. Here's Jerry Rice. They got him double covered inside and outside. They're running stride for stride. There's no place you can throw that ball without throwing it to a defender.
And you're right about the 49ers going for it. George Seifert has decided they will. They need 4 yards this time as they did last time when they didn't make it. Young to throw it quickly. Outside to Brent Jones, first down.
And that was was a heck of a play by Steve Young because Ricky Jackson was right there on him again. Ricky Jackson comes in right here. He's going to be right at Steve Young's feet as he throws the ball. Watch him. He's looking to his left. His right is right. Jackson's right there on his leg. He has it, and he still gets that ball out of there.
And the 49ers get that first down.
I think Jerry Rice ran a little pick for Brent Jones. He started in, picked off that defender, and that freed Brent Jones.
Jones has 5 catches now on the day. That's the biggest one of the day. Waters, right at the line of scrimmage. The ball came loose, but they say he was down.
Right, when that official stands there and points to the ground that way and keeps pointing to it, he means that the whistle blew before the ball came out. That means he was down.
See what happened.
Yeah, this is the second time that right at the end of the play, Ricky Waters lost the ball. The ball comes out before he's down, but what that official is saying is that he blew the whistle before the ball came out.
Steve Wallace was on top of it in any case. Yelling about something. Waters has to leave the game. And the 49ers, I think, are going to have to take a timeout. It is the San Francisco timeout. Waters had to walk out. 3:42 left to play. 13-10 Saints.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Head and Shoulders and Head and Shoulders 2-in-1 because great hair can't have flakes. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it. And by Hilton Hotels. So nice to come home to.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. This CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the New Orleans Saints, and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down, San Francisco. 2nd and 8. Young changing the play. Hands off to Waters, and Waters inside the 20. Tripped up by James Williams.
You know, you just wonder if Jim Mora is thinking about that and if George Seifert has confidence from it. You look at that last 4 series in this thing and you see this thing has just been staring at you all day. That the Saints play the 49ers tough the whole game, and then every time the 49ers, over the years, the 49ers have always been able to come back at the end of the game and beat them.
They're going to measure to see if Waters got the first down. He's inside the 20.
But they always play a very physical, tough game. You talk to any 49er player or coach, they'll always tell you the toughest game they ever play is against the New Orleans Saints.
That much short. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
You know, this is where the advantage of a running quarterback, like a Steve Young and a Randall Cunningham, really comes into play. I think that their advantage is all over the field, but the closer you get to the goal line, the more valuable a running quarterback is because you add another dimension and another option.
And the 49ers add another tight end. Jamie Williams has come in along with Brent Jones.
Of course, Jamie Williams is a blocking tight end, so if you would guess which way they're going to run, you would guess that they're going to run towards Jamie Williams.
This is Rice in motion. Fort Jamie Williams is correct. Waters has the first down as he spins down to the 15. Vince Buck made the stop.
That was good blocking on that left side by Steve Wallace and Jamie Williams. Guy McIntyre, they made quite a hole over there for Waters to get through. Watch this side left, right here. Here's Jamie Williams, here's Wallace, here's McIntyre. This is the area that they're going to run in. See, they get a cross block, boom, right there, a good pull, and that's the play. That's the block right there that got Waters through the hole.
1st and 10, San Francisco at the New Orleans 15. Waters again, headed for the outside. He got a couple. Toy Cook made the stop.
You know, Ricky Waters is so tough to tackle. I mean, Barry Sanders has moves and stuff, but Waters is doing everything. I mean, he got the strength. He's going up, he's going down, he's going sideways. He's doing it all at the same time.
2nd and 7.
Now George Seifert is calm now. That's a calm coach. that defense was blitzing on third down. That was an uncalm coach.
2-minute warning has been given to both sides. 25 carries for Waters, 136 yards now. Pat Summerall with John Madden. New Orleans 13, San Francisco 10. 2 minutes left to play. Look at what Ricky Waters has done.
You know, that's run and pass. He's gained 144 yards, but he's gained 90 of it after the first contact. That's what you call yak yardage. Yards after contact. That's a lot of yak.
That's also strength. All that weightlifting he did in the offseason. Here's Young to throw it. Now take off with it. Steve Young is hit after a short gain.
And that's a dimension, although they didn't get a first down with it. But, you know, you count everyone. You count the receivers, and you account for them on defense, and you count and account for the running back, but you don't account for the quarterback running or catching, and that's why he's an added option and dimension.
And brings up a third down. And about 7 for the 49ers. Big down. Young to throw it. Has to step away. Finally has to ground it. Vaughn Johnson hit him just as he let it go.
There's a guy who's had a heck of a game today, not only on the run, stuffing the run inside, but they're bringing him on the pass rush more than I've ever seen the Saints do that. He may have been a spy. I said they don't account for the quarterback. Maybe on that play, Vaughn Johnson was spying, or maybe he was the guy that was responsible for Steve Young. Because he sees him go for that hole, boom, he just steps up and fills it.
From 30 yards away, Kofer will try to tie it. And does. 13-13. The 49ers and the Saints are tied with 1 minute and 44 seconds, 1 minute and 14 left to play.
Watch that third down play. Now here's what a spy is. Here's Vaughn Johnson here. He is spying Steve Young. That means he's going to mirror him. Wherever he goes, he goes. See him, watch him, watch him, watch him. Now when Steve Young starts to commit to here, Vaughn Johnson commits too. And he makes him throw that ball. That was a big third down play. Maybe the biggest defensive play of the game for the Saints.
Vaughn Johnson, who's had a heck of a day. Kofer, who tied it.
I was just going to say, I think that's a real honor to be the guy chosen to spy Steve Young.
I don't know if they look at it that way. But you got to have somebody who can run.
But as you say, Vaughn Johnson's played a heck of a game today.
Kofer's kick sails in the direction of Fred McAfee at the 5. McAfee hit hard at about the 23. Where the Saints will take over with 1 minute and 8 seconds left and the score tied at 13-13. Typical, I hate to keep saying this, but a typical 49ers Saint game here.
You know, we talked over the years, and I thought that the tackling in the NFL has really gone down the last 4 or 5 years, and the fundamentals have gone down, but not with these teams. I mean, a Jim Mora team, a 49er team playing in a game like this, they bring their fundamentals, they bring their blocking, they bring their tackling to this game.
1 minute 8 seconds remaining. Both teams have outstanding kickers. Johnson, the shuttle pass to Dalton Hilliard to about the 20 to 33, a gain of about 9.
It was a different way. Wade Wilson did that. He kind of flipped it to him end over end. They're going to go without a huddle, but watch this thing. He just flipped it like an option, end over end. Some people think they're easier to catch.
Wilson has a man open. It's Eric Martin. If they're easy to catch, he hadn't made the catch. If they're difficult, he comes up with it.
You know, in fact, that ball looked like it may have hit the ground. I mean, there's no instant replayer anymore. But I think one official saw it, and he may be saying something about that.
Saints have a timeout.
You know, did that ball hit the ground? I mean, it's low and it's coming in there. I don't think so. I think he thought that. That's awfully close.
It's like he got his hands under the ball.
That's what a veteran like Eric Martin does, is get down with the ball, get underneath it, and get your hands underneath it. I'll tell you, that's very close. I think without instant replay, you got to give it to them because they already have.
Anderson getting ready. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, then it's Murder, She Wrote. And then the CBS Sunday movie, Sleeping with the Enemy. All tonight on CBS.
Oh, the 49ers know the Saints only need a couple more first downs, and they're going to get a dose of Morton Anderson.
Wilson swings it out in the direction of Hilliard. Incomplete. 39 seconds left to play.
And this is where, over the years, some people have thought that maybe the New Orleans Saints are too conservative because they play for that field goal. What Morton Anderson has done here, but they need another first down before they can think of Morton Anderson.
At least. And they have 39 seconds and 1 timeout remaining. 2nd and 10.
I smell overtime.
I do too. There's Wade Wilson. He's chased out of the pocket. He's got some room. And chased out of bounds and knocked way out of bounds as he crossed the 45 and into the 49er bench.
Oh, and the fans want a flag there. They think that Merton Hanks hit Wade Wilson after he was out of bounds. They just gave him that thing. There was no one on that corner. They didn't contain on their rush, and he was hit right at the line.
That's close. 3rd and 2. It'll bring up. No penalty.
But you always tell your pass rushers to stay in their lane. The pass rushers didn't stay in their lane that time against Wade Wilson.
33 seconds left. Wilson to Hilliard. Enough for a first down, but the clock will keep running. They got to have some more yards. They got to line up in a hurry. Wilson will throw it down to stop it. That's what he does. In 16 seconds, they'll have one more play. This is still going to be a long shot if they have to do it from here, even for Morton Anderson. Either 57 or 58 yards if they had to try a field goal from here.
Well, the big advantage that they have here, Pat, is that they do have 1 timeout left. So that means that they can throw the ball and throw it inside the field and take a timeout. They don't have to get it to the sidelines or end zone.
2nd and 10. Wilson gets it out to Eric Martin, and he gets out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Adrian Hardy wrestled him out of bounds. He tried to get Anderson closer. 10 seconds left.
Wade Wilson made the throw when he had to. Eric Martin caught it when he had to. And like the tough receiver he is, one of the toughest receivers in the NFL, he fought to get some more yardage for Morton Anderson.
They've still got 2nd down on the sideline yardage markers. But here's Eric Martin's effort.
You see, and that 4 yards takes off 4 yards that Morton Anderson would have to kick the ball.
They'll measure. 10 seconds left.
And by getting out of bounds, by Eric Martin getting out of bounds, Pat, he not only picked up those yards, but he also saved that timeout, which gives the Saints an option here to still go for another play. And I think that's what they're going to do, because they know that they can throw a quick play, get a timeout, and maybe get closer.
Not quite a first down. About 6 inches short, it would appear. 10 seconds left, and they're going to put Anderson on the field anyway.
They said to heck with that. They don't want to take the chance of something bad happen, trying to get him some more yardage.
They got to get a trainer for the yard marker. It's broken.
Now we find out this is why they're paying Morton Anderson all the money.
Barnhart will hold. Jay Hilgenberg will snap. Anderson will kick from 49 yards away for a Saint victory. Good snap. Far enough. Good. From the end zone, from behind the kicker.
And the fans are chanting defense, defense, defense.
Couldn't have been even a degree more close to the center of the goalpost. Perfect.
Hoop, there it is. Hoop, there it is. Lord Seifert didn't want that hoop. There it is. I'll tell you, this was a heck of a game. I mean, both these teams left everything they've had here today.
5 seconds left.
Go back to that third down play the last time the 49ers had the ball, and I think that play by Vaughn Johnson could have been the play of the game.
5 seconds left. The Saints 16. 49ers 13.
That's why, you know, you talk about the offenses, you can talk about the defenses, but when you're talking football, you still have to talk about these kickers.
Don't you know, especially here.
I mean, those defenses go out, they go after each other all day. There's crisp, good tackling, good blocking. Guys just play their guts out, and it comes down to Morton Anderson either kicking it, making it, or missing it.
And we would have been in overtime. Give that guy some credit, too, for the perfect snap.
I'll tell you, Jay Hilgenberg gets the credit for a lot of things over a long period of time. And he's a football player's football player. Morton Anderson may kick this one right through the wall of the dome.
He'll bounce it. The 49ers down it with 4 seconds left. They don't have time for one more play.
I would have kicked it through the wall of the dome.
I think I would have too.
Let him get it on the 20. He was trying to keep it on the ground and get the clock and get some time off, but you just give the 49ers a little more breathing room.
16-13. The Saints trying to stay unbeaten and move to 4-0. Here's Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints.
Someone ought to tell Tom, wait a minute, Tom, you still got 4 seconds. The 49ers still have one play.
There's Young. He's going to throw it. Tried to lateral to Taylor. It was a forward lateral. He got out of bounds. Flags on the play. It's an illegal forward pass. It's going to be against the offense. So this one's over. Saints have broken the 49er hex. For John Madden, Pat Summerall saying so long from the Louisiana Superdome.